Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Today I'm going to talk about HMP LOWDHAM Grange and 3 deaths within 3 weeks at that prison during March of 2023. But before I do, would you please like and subscribe and leave a few comments when we get to the end. Insults, requests, comments, just go for it. I like your comments, and I usually reply as quickly as I possibly can. Okay, I want to talk about LOWDHAM Grange, which is an institution holding approximately 920 inmates located at a place called Lowdham, near a village of Lowdham in Nottinghamshire, near Nottingham. In the UK, of course, yeah. 3 deaths occurred. The deaths were of Anthony Binfield, Rolandus Karabuskas, and David Richards, and they all died within a space of 3 weeks at HMP LOWDHAM Grange. The prison officer that was testifying to the coroner's court was Liam Doyle, a prison custody officer. And he admitted that he had falsified the documents concerning the inspection of said inmates during the time that he was on duty. In other words, they were on special watch, suicide watch, and it's required that they be checked every 30 minutes, depending, sometimes it's every 15 minutes, yeah? But usually every 30 minutes. And he'd falsified the documents that said that he had actually done this. And the problem was at HMP LOWDHAM Grange was that there was a proliferation of the drug called spice, which is a cannabinoid, synthetic cannabinoid, and it drives people quite crazy. I believe I've never tried anything like it. I have Jack Daniels, that puts me to sleep, especially when my wife starts telling me off. Anyway, Mr. Doyle, the prison officer, he'd been qualified for 10 weeks, full 10 weeks, yeah. Now, so a practically inexperienced prison officer in charge of the cells admitted that he had been fabricating the fact that he had supposedly been examining the inmates and keeping watch on them as he was required to do, but he didn't do it, and subsequently they died. Mr. Binfield actually hung himself in his cell and was found to be under the influence of spice, so they got it in. The prison was originally run by Serco, but I now understand that it's run by His Majesty's Prison Service, yeah. And the Mr. Doyle, the officer, said, "Sometimes I would write before I did the checks, and I would guesstimate the time." Guesstimate the time. It's a standard practice. Listen, it happened in the prisons when I was there, but what they would usually write when inmates were found in the morning to be damaged or they'd been receiving some kind of close attention, that during the hours of darkness the inmate was heard to be throwing himself around his cell. That would probably explain the boot marks. Seriously, yeah. So the inquest has found that this particular officer was incorrect, and he stated to the coroner's court, that he admitted that he had done wrong, but only admitted that he did wrong when the CCTV was played back, and it showed that he, at the times he had written in the note in the discipline book, the day book, incident book, he had not conducted the correct examination as he had stated in writing in the book. So it's basically neglect, isn't it, across the system. HMP LOWDHAM Grange. We were talking yesterday, or I was talking yesterday, about the death rate in HM prisons. Yeah, well, the death rate in HM prisons was increased by 3 in March of 2023 at LOWDHAM Grange, when 3 inmates, within a 3-week period, managed to terminate their own lives in the prison and were not correctly supervised. So very difficult task. I mean, when I was at the Scrubs, one of the inmates that I was observing on Suicide Watch was Ian Brady. And Ian Brady would frequently place his chair directly opposite to the spy hole, that you look through, the Judas hole in the door, yeah? And he'd sit at his chair staring straight at the spy hole. So when you looked through to make sure he was still alive, he'd just be sat there staring at you. And that would go on through the night up till about 2 o'clock in the morning. Then suddenly, when next time you went, you'd look through, Ian Brady was in bed asleep, or ostensibly asleep. But he was one spooky, horrible, dirty bastard, he was. There was an air, an aura around him, a very dark, cold aura all around that man. But anyway, so they've got trained prison officers, or a trained prison officer, failing to do their duty. And you may wonder why. I mean, who are they recruiting? But you've got to say to yourself, perhaps it's the rates of pay. I mean, the prison officers start, I think it's $24,000 a year, which is round about the very basic rates, and goes up to $30,000 a year. Wow. Yeah. Whereas the average pay for a tradesman, say a painter and decorator, a plasterer, a plumber, or whatever, the average rates of the annual rates of pay is over $31,000 a year. So you're going to get completely unqualified individuals applying for the prison service, and very often you're going to get, of course, the hostess brigade, which make up now in excess of 40% of the prison officer population. The prison officer staff in the prisons is female, working in male prisons, which is whoever at the Home Office has decided to do this is definitely lost the plot. It doesn't work, as they are discovering on a daily basis, because the jails are out of control, the gangs are running them, drugs are rife. One prison alone has seen 34 female members of their staff, prosecuted and found guilty by the courts of inappropriately interacting with the male inmate population of HMP Berwyn. And they're going to build another prison virtually next door. What a great idea for it. Doesn't it make you proud to be British? Anyway, it's proud to be British when you've got a twat like fucking Prince Edward. Right, it's that time of day, folks. That's the song, dear. Run for the hills. Please like and subscribe, comments, all the rest of it down below. I'm gonna have a little go at this. I'm not exactly certain I'm going to be any good, but I'll give it a go. This is the French version of the song is Ne me quitte pas. Yeah, Jacques Brel. And this is the English version, as recorded by Frank Sinatra, but performed here today by yours truly, that great. Well, I wouldn't say he's great. It's just me, actually. So here we go. If you go away, ne me quitte pas. That's the French version. I might sing it in French if you'd like. Requests down below. Nemakita. Yeah, anyway, if you go away on this summer day, then you might as well take the sun away. All the birds that flew in the summer sky when our love was new and our hearts were high, when the day was young and the night was long and the moon stood still for the night bird's song. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make you a day like no day has been or will be again. We'll sail the sun, we'll ride on the rain, we'll talk to the trees and worship the wind. Then if you go, I'll understand. Leave me just enough love to fill up my hand. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away, if you go, as I know you will, you must tell the world to stop turning till you return again, if you ever do. For what good is love without loving you? Can I tell you now, as you turn to go, I'll be dying slowly till the next hello. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make you a night like no night has been or will be again. I'll sail on your smile, I'll ride on your touch, I'll talk to your eyes that I love so much. But if you go, I won't cry, though the good is gone from the word goodbye. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away, if you go away, as I know you must, there'll be nothing left in this world to trust, just an empty room full of empty space, like the empty look I see on your face. I'd have been the shadow of your shadow if I thought it might have kept me by your side. If you go away, if you go away, please don't go away. There you are. I expect you've all gone away by now. Unless it's Larry, because Larry said he got your goat by his side. Tales from the jails.